Hey YouTube, Engineer Boy 100. Today I'm going to show you how to change the bearing in an air conditioning pulley off of a Porsche 996 Turbo 2003. Now, I was working on something else, these coolant pipes, and I know everybody's waiting for that video to come out. Sorry, some things came up. But in taking the pulley off to gain access to some other things, I noticed that the bearing was making a little bit of noise. Now listen here, I'm gonna spin it and listen carefully. You can hear what I noticed. Listen carefully. One more time. Okay, that little bit of noise is enough to let you know your bearing is going out. Maybe it's not out all the way, but it is going out. The bearing is bad, so I'm going to change it. Now, luckily for me, I just did this on a Mercedes, and the bearings just so happened to be the same, and I had extras laying around. So I'm going to go over to the bench, let you guys, I'll put you on a tripod, and you guys watch me change the bearing in this pulley for this turbo. Okay, so here's my setup. On the bench here, I've got some little nylon blocks here stacked up, being held with some T-Rex tape, okay, so that they can hold my pulley so that I can pound the bearing out at the bottom. This is the bottom. I want to pound it out in this direction, okay, this direction. So I have the right size socket here that fits in there perfectly. You can see it just fits right in the top here. I mean, just perfect fit, but loose enough so it won't get stuck. And we're going to use this to pound the bearing out. So this is perfectly spaced. So we go just like that. Fits in there perfectly. And then we're going to put the socket in like so. Get my baby sledge and hopefully pound out that bearing. So let's see what happens. Okay, look at that. Alright, so we got the bearing out without too much fanfare. And this is the original bearing, and this is the original bearing that came out of the Mercedes I just did. Okay, they're the same bearing. So I'm going to replace it with this new bearing. This happens to be gray, but if I can focus, yeah. This new bearing. And I'm going to use one of the old bearings to pound it in. So all we do to install it is I'm going to lubricate, and we don't need these anymore. We don't need these anymore for the installation. We just go flat on the surface, and I'm going to put some lubrication in here, some basically Croil. I think I'll just use Croil. Yeah, let me go get some Croil. Whoa, look at that. Just like magic, Croil just pops right up. So I'm going to put some Croil on this surface here. Okay, put some Croil on there. And this is just so that the bearing will slide in easily. Put some on the bearing surface itself. And this process is pretty straightforward. The bearing did not go in the freezer. I didn't freeze it or anything. It's just room temperature. I'm going to line it up, get it nice and square. And I'm actually going to start it off with one of my nylon blocks because it's nice and flat. Okay, that's going to give me a nice good start. I can feel that is lining up correctly. And I'm going to start it off with the nylon block. Gently, 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 until I feel it going in square. Okay, so it's almost down, but don't let that fool you. It looks like it's almost in, but it needs to go down a little farther, and this cannot get down below that lip. That is where one of these old bearings comes in. Now you gotta be kind of careful when you do this on this particular vehicle. It doesn't go below the surface, so you don't have to worry about getting your bearing stuck. But you might be working on a different vehicle. You gotta think, if I hit this all the way in there, then I get this one stuck, how do I get it out? So that's just a note of caution to be aware of. But now I'm going to take this the old bearing, give it a little tap, and now it's flush. See, and my bearing doesn't get stuck because it bottoms out before there's anything. And that's how you change the bearing in a Porsche 996 2003 turbo air conditioning compressor. And this one's going to be nice and quiet. And it doesn't turn as long. Perfect. Thanks for watching.